So, after watching the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, strangely enough, it made me realize that there is a huge horror movie universe. You may be asking, what in the world does Jay and Silent Bob have to do with horror? Well, let's find it. I have one right here. Ah, there we go. Come on. So in Scream 3, Jay and Silent Bob appear. And it connects all, since it is actually Jay and Silent Bob, and they have admitted that it is canonical to that universe. You know what that means? Well, you're about to see. So, because it's connected to Scream, we have seen hints that in the new Halloween movie, I have not seen it yet, but I've heard there are hints towards Scream existing in the same world. And since we have Scream and Halloween connected, we can connect those 2 points, and since Jay and Silent Bob connected to that, you can see that that's a universe sprouting up. Now, what else does Jay and Silent Bob connect to? It connects to the movie How High through the reboot. I have not seen this one either, but I do plan on seeing it eventually. So, since that is connected, we can also connect that to the universe. And sorry about that. I just spilled a bag of cans. But since that is connected, we have the whole universe, including most of the Kevin James films. If they're not connected via that, they're like, because we found out in the reboot that a lot of the ones Kevin James wrote were also written by the guy from Mallrats. So they're pieces of fiction in the world, just like the Plants vs. Zombies cartoon and the Super Groovy movie. Those were all just fictional things that Jay and Silent Bob wrote in the main universe. And with Scream being connected to all that, we had a cameo in one of the Scream movies by Wes Craven wearing that getup, which looks similar to his other character, Freddy Krueger. Oh, not Wes Craven. Robert Englund. Sorry, I said Wes Craven. Wes Craven's the director. Robert Englund wearing that getup, which connects it to his Freddy Krueger character before he was Freddy Krueger, because it is stated in a lot of the different mediums that he worked for the school. Well, he could probably be the school's janitor. And yes, timelines are can fluctuate. And via Freddy Krueger, we know that Ashley Williams and Jason are in the same world because of the Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash comic, which was a sequel to the Freddy vs. Jason movie. Via this, we know that Leatherface is also in the same world because Jason fought Leatherface in this comic series. Then, we can see that Bubba Hotep is also in the same world, which is another Bruce Campbell movie, because Ashley Williams and him had a crossover. Then, we can also see this one through parallel universes, which I'll get to in just a wee bit. It connects to the Marvel Zombies, which has a slight connection to Marvel. But the strangest one of all has to be, because we can see that Jason, Freddy, Michael, and even Pinhead are referenced in Bride of Chucky, we can infer they exist in the same universe. Although it has not been confirmed, and there is no official tie via this, other than through Scream. But because it's tied through Scream, and Scream has official ties, it canonizes all the rest of them, even though the Jason mask looks nothing like it. But, as they have said in the Freddy vs. Jason movie, there have been pretenders. Maybe it's just a pretender. And maybe he was using the chainsaw so we can connect it to that version rather than him just being a pretender, but both of them still exist out there. But that is the actual Freddy glove from the sets too, so yeah. Then also, because there was a cameo in the end of the reboot, which was supposed to connect a sequel to having Ashley Williams being the mentor of the reboot female of the new Evil Dead movies, we can connect the Evil Dead reboot to this and not even via another world. Now, I do not have any pictures of this one. In fact, we're all out of pictures in general, but since there's other universes, we can also connect pretty much any of the reboots via another universe, especially since the Jason reboot, the Friday the 13th reboot, and Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy Krueger were supposed to eventually have a crossover, but because neither of them did all that well, they didn't. There's also, now this one is not official, but I would like to imagine that it is in the same world because it has a very similar tone and it came out on the same time. That Rob Zombie's Halloween is in that same universe. But we do know that all of these at least exist in a parallel world via the Book of the Dead from the Evil Dead franchise, especially since it is in every Jason property because that's the way he got resurrected. And we do have also Voodoo and Chucky connecting it to Book of Dead and similar themes. Overall, I think this is kind of interesting, especially since it all goes back to movies like Mallrats and Scream of all things. And if you really wanted, I wouldn't advise connecting this, but I guess you could consider Scary Movie a link as well. Oops, sorry about that. You could also consider Scary Movie a link because... Sorry about that. That was somebody in the distance. You can connect Scary Movie because of the Ghostface Pretender, and as I said, there are a lot of pretenders with a lot of different killers, from what the cop says in Freddy vs. Jason. On top of the fact that Jason's abilities also stem from spin-offs of the Dream Demons from the Nightmare franchise, which, yes, I know they were directly connected via their thing, but even beforehand, they had similar connections. Overall, I just think it's interesting that the Silent Bob universe and the horror universe are connected in such a strange way.